Hello everyone, Guitars N70 here. Hope you're having a great day. So I'm coming at you today with not a guitar video, but an update video for one that I put out a few months ago regarding pulsed field ablation. And this is, I just wanted to update you all as to how I'm doing. I said I would do an update video and pass that along, not just for subscribers to my channel, but for anyone who was curious, who may have watched the video and wondered how it went, how I'm feeling now, and my thoughts on it 5 months down the road. I had the procedure done, pulsed field ablation, in November 27th of last year, 2024. And just a little bit of backstory. I'm not going to go over what the procedure entails and all that kind of stuff like I did before, but just so that people know that when they're watching this, what my life was like before I had it done. I found out, I started having symptoms of Afib, atrial fibrillation, in probably 2000 or 2001. I was 30 years old about. And I just woke up one morning and I felt super tired, and my heart beat, and I just felt this heaviness in my chest, like a thud, you know. I just was off. It was not right. And I never had felt that tired before or whatever. So I went about my day. I think I took a nap that day or something, and when I woke up, I felt fine. So yeah, okay, whatever. That happened like once every couple of months, something like that would happen. And then one time it happened, it was maybe 2002 or so, it happened, and my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, I told her about it, and she said, you should go to the ER. And I'm like, nah, it's fine. I'll just go to sleep, and when I wake up, it's usually better. Went to take a nap, woke up, wasn't better. It was much worse. And she's like, you need to go to the ER. So of course, then I go. It took a good woman to make me go to the doctor about that. When I got there, they slipped the little pulse oximeter on my finger, and they're like, oh, you're an Afib. What's that? So she tells me, and there it goes. There it started, was that I knew it was that's what was causing it or whatever. Over the years, 20 plus years later, I feel I'm an expert on atrial fibrillation. This is not advice. This is not medical advice. I'm not telling you to take my advice. I'm just saying I feel like an expert on atrial fibrillation. I feel like I understand it as well as the doctors do. You know. Anyway, that's beside the point. So, over the years, I've been through probably 15 cardioversions. That's where you go in and you get shocked back into rhythm in the ER, or they schedule the procedure and do it for you. Not a fun procedure, and it definitely comes with its risks and that sort of thing. But my life before this last one, it had gone from going into Afib like once a year, twice a year, to I developed these really severe premature atrial contractions, or PACs, sometimes PVCs, premature ventricular contractions, but I think most of them were PACs, which would cause these skipped heartbeats, is what they feel like. You're going along, and then all of a sudden you're, because you can feel your heart skip. Anything and everything would bring them on, or sometimes they would just happen on their own. You could be living the clean life, and you would just get these attacks of them. But certainly, like, check this out. Trenta cold shot, cold brew, Starbucks. This would never, ever have happened before the pulsed field ablation. There's no way I could have had a large, extra large coffee cold brew like this. I would have just been, on the ceiling or whatever with skipped beats, Afib, who knows, right? Yummy. So anyway, my life before this was done is it had devolved into daily, just all these skipped heartbeats. I couldn't, there's no drinking, there's no smoking. Caffeine, you got to watch that. you have to get 8 hours of sleep every night at least. You can't be under stress. You can't eat the wrong kinds of foods. It was just horrible. You can't exercise really to any strenuous degree, or you would just get these debilitating symptoms of like skipped beats. And then if you didn't take care of that, it would devolve into Afib. Now the doctors would say there's no correlation between the PACs and the Afib. They're two separate things. Yeah, I understand they're two separate things, but I know that when I have these skipped heartbeats and stuff starts getting out of whack, if I don't lay down and take it easy, I'm going to wind up, it's going to just kick it off into an irregular rhythm. So, you can tell me all the details behind it, but I'm telling you what really happens, and whether it turns into an irregular heartbeat or you just experience a regular heartbeat and it's two separate processes that's going on. I don't care. For me, it's straight up, I have these skipped heartbeats and then all of a sudden I'm in Afib. Does it matter how I got there? No, not really. So that was my life. I could be going along singing a song, having a great day. Bam, they start up, and all of a sudden, I'm down. I'm depressed. I'm complaining to my wife. It's just awful. It was awful for me, and it was especially awful for her. Or you just wind up in the ER. The final straw is I'm leaving work one day, feeling great. No skips, no nothing. Skipped heartbeats anyway. And I'm eating a brownie and taking a swig of water as I'm leaving work. And as soon as the food went down and the cold water went down, boom, I just felt it. It's like in my heart, I just got that, and then of course I'm taking my pulse and I'm in an irregular heartbeat. That was a Friday night. I was looking forward to the weekend, the whole week, and now I'm going to spend the first half of it in the ER, and I'm just like, what? I am done with this. Absolutely done. I was, pushed for an EP, electrophysiologist. I saw them a couple months later, and within a few minutes, he was like, "Yeah, let's get you scheduled for the pulsed field ablation." And it was like a month later, I was in there, which was November 27th, 2024. Had the procedure done. It's been 5 months, and I encourage you to go and watch the first video that I did. It's on the channel, just to kind of get the backstory of the procedure and stuff like that, like how the actual procedure went. This is just a follow-up and to give you some insight as to what my life was like before and what it's like now. And before, I was losing my life. I literally was. Like, my heart was healthy. The doctors would say, oh, there's no reason why you're not going to live a full life. But my quality of life was just awful. It was just horrible. Many nights of just laying there, with your heart just skipping. When am I going to go into an irregular heartbeat? When am I going to need to go to the doctor? I'm going to miss more work. I'm going to do this, and it's just, it was exhausting, depressing, and uncomfortable. So when I went in and had the procedure done, it was like, I woke up an hour and a half approximately hour later after the surgery started. I was tired. I was a little tiny bit sore, where they insert the catheters or whatever, but nothing crazy, nothing crazy at all. For the first day, and the day after, I had a few skipped heartbeats and things like that. And I was like, and the doctor told me, hey, this is normal. You're probably going to have that, and you could have that for a little while, a couple weeks, whatever, until your heart settles down, because it's gone through a little bit of trauma. But, until it settles down, you could have that. You could have pains in your chest. You could have all these things, I didn't have any of that. Okay. The pulsed field ablation. I had no chest pain at any time. I did have some skipped beats that were no different than what I had before. So I'm like, okay, well, hopefully they go away. Hopefully this worked. And he said, we won't know for sure for a couple of months, or, whether or not this has worked. And here I am 5 months later, and I'm telling you, I've had nary a skipped beat. Just whatever a normal person would have. Normal meaning somebody who doesn't have the condition. There's tons of people out there that get a skipped heartbeat every now and then. And that's totally normal, especially as you get older, 40, 50, 60. You just be sitting there and you're like, you know, or you'll feel your heart kind of skip a beat or whatever, especially when you get stressed or something like that. That's normal if you don't have heart disease. That's me. I mean, I can't even feel like, maybe sometimes I'll get one a day or something like that. I was having over 2,500 a day some days. That's like several every minute. And, you know, no Afib, no, nothing. There was a couple of times in the 5-month stretch, almost 5-month stretch there. It's really been like, yeah, I guess on the 27th, it'll be 5 months. There was a couple of times when I felt a little string, you know, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Nope. It just straightened itself out. Like a little flutter. Like it should do. Like what normal people get, you know? And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. And the more that happens, you know, where stuff will resolve itself really quickly or you won't get it, the more confidence you get, you know, and the more your confidence grows, like, hey, this actually worked. This is cool, you know? You know, and it's something that I have in my mind, but it's not a Afib cure. It's not a cure for Afib, but because Afib's a progressive disease. But if it can keep me solid for another 10, 15, you know, years, I mean, it could be permanent. I mean, I could die before I start getting symptoms again. It just all depends. It depends on your genes. It depends on a lot of different things, how you take care of yourself and that kind of thing. But 5 months in, God touched my life. Whether he directly intervened and said, I'm going to make it so that this Afib ablation surgery works, or he gave the surgeon the tools necessary to make it whatever, I don't know. But I just want to say thanks to the surgeon, to the Lord, because it has literally changed my life. Pulsed field ablation was so easy for me. It was easy. I would not hesitate to do it again. I can't say enough good things about it, and it gave me my life back, you know. And I'm just ready. I'm ready for whatever this chapter of my life is supposed to bring to me. And I hope if you're considering doing pulsed field ablation that you do not hesitate and just get it done, and enjoy the benefits. I know it doesn't work for everyone. Again, this is not medical advice. This is just my story and what happened to me. But if you do choose to go through with it, I wish you the best. I wish you all the success that I had. And thanks for watching this video.